The moment the stage lights went out, I chose to survive by abandoning my life. The audience erupted in applause, but all I could hear was footsteps echoing down the corridor. A small note in my hand was soaked with sweat. I knew this would be my last performance. I'm Minjun, 25. I was a tenor vocalist for the nation's top propaganda art troupe. We smiled on stage and held our breath off stage. Now I'm free. But freedom wasn't free. Everything started 3 years ago. My first overseas performance. We came from a closed nation, and we were the pride, the face of the country. The chosen elite. That's what they taught us. When I stepped off the plane and saw the city, something felt wrong. People walked freely. Their laughter sounded natural. They didn't look over their shoulders like we did. Minjun, close the window. My roommate Junhyuk said, 26, bass section leader. He was usually calm, but his voice was shaking. Why? Don't look outside too much. Nothing good will come from it. Junhyuk knew, once you start looking outside, it becomes hard to go back in. There were 15 of us. 5 vocalists, 10 instrumentalists. My closest friends were Junhyuk and Seojin, a fellow tenor. Seojin was 24. His parents were farmers in the countryside. Hey, look at people's faces here. They all seem happy. Seojin whispered quietly. Be quiet. We can't be heard. I said. There were eyes everywhere in the dorm hallways. Even without cameras, there were people. Inspector Dosok, a man in his mid-40s. He was our assigned monitor. Dosok was different. He never got angry or yelled. Instead, he instilled fear through expressionless kindness. Comrade Minjun, are your parents well? One day after rehearsal, Dosok asked me. Yes, they're well. I heard your mother's health isn't good. Did you get her medicine? I froze. No one knew about mother's illness except family. Fortunately, yes. Good. She needs to stay healthy. With her son performing so far away, your parents must be your strong support. Dosok's eyes pierced through mine. The message was clear. I know about your family. Be careful. After that day, I learned not to voice questions. The first incident happened 6 months later. Our senior soprano, Hyejin, 31, a lead vocalist, she disappeared during an overseas performance. The official announcement was, returned home for personal reasons. But we knew what that meant. Hyejin's family was taken to the special zone. Junhyuk whispered to me at midnight. Special zone. Those words alone suffocated me. Hyejin's parents, her younger brother. One person's choice swallowed 3 lives. After that day, we learned not to voice our questions. I muttered. The second incident was a year later. Sua, the violin section leader. 28, quiet and diligent, but she violated the rules. Forbidden romance, just for having a few conversations with a local guide. One morning, Sua's seat was empty. Where's Sua? I asked. Sent back. Dosok answered simply. That was it. Sua never returned. 2 weeks later, a new violinist arrived. Nobody mentioned Sua. That night, I saw Seojin sitting on his bed, staring blankly at the wall. His eyes were dead. Are you okay? We're just tools. Seojin's voice cracked. Tools. Singing tools. Smiling tools. Disposable. I couldn't say anything. It was true. That's when something started growing inside me. Doubt, fear, and anger. In my 3rd year, we went overseas again for a performance. A big city this time. Fancy concert hall, luxury hotel. We received VIP treatment. But surveillance intensified. Not just Dosok, 4 more security personnel joined us. This performance is special. Don't make mistakes, Dosok said. 3 days before the performance, the schedule was announced. Rehearsal, performance, reception. And 2 days of free time. 2 days. That was our window. That night, Junhyuk handed me a note. Read and swallow. The note had one short word. Together? I nodded. Junhyuk could speak a little Chinese. Self-taught in college. That was our only hope. The day before the performance, the bomb dropped. Schedules change. Dosok announced. The 2-day break is cancelled. Instead, there's VIP photo session and reception right after the performance. And we leave the next morning. 2 days became 2 hours. I sat in the dining hall but couldn't swallow anything. Junhyuk grabbed my arm. Bathroom. In a corner of the hallway, in the camera's blind spot, Junhyuk whispered. It's now or never. When? After the performance. Before the reception. Are you crazy? Security will. That's why it's safer. It'll be chaotic. When everyone moves, we move too. Performance day. I stood on stage. Lights came on. The audience applauded. I smiled. A perfect smile. But inside, I was screaming. The first song started. Our members added their voices one by one. Harmony formed. Beautiful. In the second song's chorus, one lyric stuck in my ears. Even on distant roads, homeland stays in our hearts. It sounded like a code. Ironic. I was about to abandon my homeland. Part 1 ended. 15-minute break. Junhyuk passed by, whispering. Ready? I nodded. My hands trembled. Part 2 began. Last 3 songs. My solo part. The spotlight hit me. I closed my eyes and sang. Thinking it was the last time, my voice was different. More desperate. The song ended. Applause poured out. Curtain call. We stood in a line. Bowed. Smiled. The lights went out. Junhyuk grabbed my hand. Now, we ran to the back exit. Other members headed to the VIP room. Dosok was supervising reception preparations up front. Corridor. Stairs. Emergency exit. My heart felt like it would explode. Breath rising to my throat. I opened the door. Cold air hit my face. A voice from behind. Stop right there. We ran. Through alleys, around corners. Between people. Footsteps grew closer. Someone shouted. Junhyuk turned left. I followed. In front of a small restaurant. Get in. We rushed into the restaurant. Customers stared, startled. A man in the kitchen looked at us. Maybe in his 60s. He had a beard. Junhyuk said something in Chinese. I didn't understand a word. The man looked at us, hesitated for a moment, then pointed to the back. We passed through the kitchen and went out the back door. An alley. This way. Junhyuk shouted. We kept running. I don't know how long. My legs gave out. My chest felt torn. At some point, it became quiet. Junhyuk stopped. I collapsed on the ground. Where are we? I don't know, but I think we lost them. The next dawn, we stood in front of a small building. An old building. Small door. Junhyuk pressed the doorbell. The door opened. A woman came out. Early 30s. Junhyuk said something in Chinese. The woman nodded and let us in. You're safe, the woman said in Korean. With that one sentence, I collapsed. My legs lost strength and I sank to the floor. Tears came. Everything I'd held in for 3 years burst out. 3 days later, the woman called us. I checked on your families. My heart stopped. Your parents are being investigated now. Your siblings too. The special zone? Not yet. But, the woman stopped. It's just a matter of time? Yes. Nightmares started that night. Dreams of mother being dragged away. Father being interrogated. My sibling crying. I'd wake up drenched in sweat. 3 years passed. Now I work at a small counseling center, helping people from the same situation. Recently, a young man came. 22. His eyes were empty. My family. Because of me. The young man cried. I sat next to him. It's not your fault. But, it's the system's fault. You chose to survive. Is that right? I couldn't answer for a long time. I don't know if it's right. But I can't regret it. Why? Because regret would make their sacrifice meaningless. Sunlight came through the window. Free sunlight. Freedom wasn't free. I pay the price every day. But I can't give up. That night when the stage lights went out, I chose to survive by abandoning my life. I make that choice again every day. Today, and tomorrow. We smiled on stage and held our breath off stage. Now I breathe freely. Each breath is a way of remembering them.